Triplefour.
Let's talk about it. Okay, Triplefour podcast.
Yeah, he said this dude makes a meatwad fucking thing for no reason, and then he says Jim Norton.
Bob Dylan I find personally obnoxious, but the Beatles destroyed culture.
Oh my god.
I got Elon Musk to smoke weed in my Tesla the other day.
Like,
It's
in
not
my
even a
garage.
big fucking
That's
deal.
true.
Things are crazy right now. You don't know shit, do you?
We really did.
We really didn't.
You know, you can't always get what you want, but you'll find sometimes that if you try,
You just might get it.
Oh, you get it!
Welcome to the Triplefour podcast, episode 41, on a hot Monday night with a bunch of hot guests. Your favorites on the internet, the number 2 podcast in the world, Sup Foreheads. As always, it's me, Dan. We also got Nick.
yes.
You're supposed to do your operatic melodic run.
Nick Wandersea.
Pretty good, pretty good. We also got Big Josh Zopeful.
God, I'm sweating. It's so hot in here.
It's 100,000 degrees. It's like that band, 98 Degrees,
But it's more.
but more. We also have returning guest, cherished voice, Maddie Bone.
Present.
So I think it's important we should acknowledge that the results are in.
And they're wrong, but that's okay.
Yeah, well,
Everyone,
people,
It's rigged, all right? I know someone rigged it.
last week we asked, who do you think belongs in the Triplefour Hall of Fame? And we reached out to the fans. And there were polls held. There were votes taken. More votes than I expected, to be completely honest. And if we count those up, on Facebook, we received 38 total votes. And coming in with 17 of those votes is Rod Serling, but more importantly, 21 to Tony Hawk.
We all know the popular vote doesn't mean shit. Let's go to Electoral College and see who really won.
Exactly.
God, this is rigged.
When we go to Twitter and we take into account those votes, it was a landslide. 13 votes on Twitter, and because Twitter is the worst, it doesn't actually tell you how many votes each thing got or who voted for him, like Facebook does. But Tony Hawk, 76% of those 13 votes,
I knew it.
and Rod
I knew
Serling,
it.
23. We'd also, we didn't do a poll on Instagram, but Rhett and Jacob both cast their votes for Tony Hawk on the Instagram posts. So, Tony Hawk, clear winner. And, you know, Rod Serling ran a good campaign, and he should be very happy with it, you know?
Next time. He'll be there next time.
Yeah, he's just waiting. He's dead, so he's got all the
It'll
time
be
in the
an
world.
even better victory for him next time.
He might
No.
actually wake up.
It won't be rigged next time, okay?
You have to wait 1 year to resubmit. Sorry.
No.
No, that's true. That's actually true.
This is true.
No. Listen, I'm here. There are new rules, okay?
No, Dan makes the legislation.
It is true. I hand
Dude.
down all...
Dictatorship.
Yes.
Crazy.
This is a dictatorship, except for when we're voting on the elections.
Yeah, but you rigged the election, so it doesn't count.
Nothing was rigged. Okay.
Everything was. Let
You
the
sh-
people know, okay? This is a
You
rigged podcast. Stop listening now.
you posted it to your own Facebook page, and all of your friends voted for it. Even people that I'm pretty sure would have voted for Tony Hawk to begin with voted for Rod Serling because you asked them to.
Wow, you actually asked people to vote? I just said you know what to do, and the people knew
The people knew.
what to do. Because the choice is obvious.
Rod Serling.
Yeah, the obvious choice is Rod Serling.
Clearly, the choice wasn't obvious.
Obviously.
You know, I don't think you should be so upset because you guys both admitted to liking Tony Hawk on the last episode anyway. So
Well,
all
you know
I'm
what?
saying-
That's
all I'm
the
saying is
thing
if
that
they-
made me hate him. Okay, I hate Tony Hawk now.
you're just a
Whoa.
hater. You're just a flat out hater in general.
Whatever.
I'm saying if they
Okay.
played the last Tony Hawk game, I think a couple of votes would have swung our way. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one wasn't great, but that's not. We're talking about his overall
He goes
career,
downhill.
not the last video game that he made.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he can go downhill. Rod Sterling
Yeah,
cannot
yeah.
go downhill.
He's already
He
dead.
died.
Yeah.
I
Isn't it
saw a episode of Twilight Zone that was so bad where this guy was dead and his family kept getting phone calls, right? And then they traced the phone lines. They were just following the phone lines, and there was a phone line going directly into his grave. And I was like,
Maybe
this is
artistically
fucking stupid.
understand that- Okay.
Come on, Rod. So, you know,
Okay.
Rod's made mistakes too.
Like, I'm just saying the amount of episodes that it has comparatively to the amount of games Tony Hawk's has. Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk
Good.
did the 900, bro. He won the X Games like 10 fucking times.
Yeah,
okay?
how many times
they
did
made,
Rod
they
win
made
the
a
X Games?
series that okay. He might have done a kickflip here and then. I don't know. He might have done some sick shit in the backyard with his son. I don't know. I'm just saying he made a fucking good ass series. More episodes, a lot of good shit. Rigged.
You guys agreed to these terms last episode, so I will not be rescinding anything.
I did not agree to the election being somehow rigged by our dictator Dan. So
Nothing was rigged. I didn't even post it to my own Facebook page. You guys campaigned harder than I did. The people spoke. So,
this is kind of like the results for the Democratic primary, where Bernie dropped out and somehow Biden's the winner, and everyone's like, "What?"
Bernie busted out.
Yeah,
well, Bernie
this is the exact same situation.
Bernie didn't win.
Well, maybe he could have if you hadn't rigged the election.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think that you're rigging all of the elections.
Yeah, all of the elections taking place on the planet, I'm rigging. I also
Yeah.
created Corona.
The vote
Shit,
between Rod Serling and
Oh,
Tony
that's
Hawk was
true.
Russian collusion.
All right. Well, you know, is it just me or are things getting crazier out there?
Junker.
All right, we're like a month into this whole lockdown thing, and shit's getting weird. I've been, you know, exploring my neighborhood, seeing new parts of it. You know, there are people people are finding anything that they can to entertain themselves. I saw some people just watching the house across the street get roof construction.
Hell yeah.
Like Netflix went out and they just went outside, set up picnic chairs, and they're just watching their neighbors get their roof redone.
What, you never watch Roofers?
American Roofers.
That's a show on HGTV. You don't know, dude?
That wouldn't even surprise me.
Just watch how it's
That's what I'm
made.
saying. Why watch it on TV when you can watch it live in real life?
Hey guys, today we're going to be redoing this roof. And then it's just raw footage of guys just spackling or
Carrying
whatever.
shingles.
Yeah.
Totally uncut.
I've passed by I legitimately passed by a house. There are some parts of my neighborhood that are a little bit nicer. You know, on the far side there are some like all these really boxy like condo houses, duplexes that are nice. I walked by one and it smelled like cologne. That's how nice the house was.
Wow.
Was it like overpowering or like?
No, it was just weird. I was just walking, you know, past these mailboxes and you know their Range Rovers or whatever, and all of a sudden I got hit. It's like
Something smells like Axe body.
it's fucking
spray.
Drakkar Noir.
Oh shit!
Just all of a sudden.
Pay a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the upsell.
Pay extra to cologne your entire
Paid a
house.
couple. Well, paid a couple dollars more.
And then I turned, looked across the street, and there was a house wearing a full suit.
Wow.
Looking fresh.
One of them have a watch, or not classy enough for that?
Rich people don't care about time
Oh, okay. Valid point. Yeah.
because time
I
is
wouldn't
money.
have- Yeah.
And they got enough.
Well, then wouldn't you care more?
Not if you have all the money in the
No,
world.
if you already have all the money.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Well-
been losing power there? Because I keep seeing people posting about it on Facebook.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of people post about it too. I have had no issues at all.
Yeah, same.
I haven't either. Internet's been fucked, though. Internet, major issues with that.
That's because everybody's using it.
I know it.
Everybody's doing it.
I know it.
You should too.
This is Nick's new segment, Internet Expert.
I know a lot about the internet.
This has been Internet
um,
Expert.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I think we both
did
said
have
thanks.
something.
Who are you thinking?
We're talking about things being crazy right now. One thing I did want to talk about,
There's things.
well, yeah, and how fucking crazy they are. Mostly the fact that I think I got it this week, actually.
Okay, well, you can't just throw out that.
Well, things are crazy right now, and I'm gonna throw that out there. I had a fever. See what day would have this been? I don't know what fucking day it is anymore. I'm on day 4 of this shit. I had the first day was fever, cold sweats, chills, vomiting. Second day was a little more tame, but still maintained fever. My ears were on fire. Third day, pretty gross, involving the bowels. I think that's heavily attributed to the off-brand NyQuil, but yeah, I'm being very cautious right now because I live with my grandparents, and my grandpa keeps waking me up and trying to get me to
I'm giving you
do
a
stuff
kiss?
with him. Yeah,
Right on the
he
lips.
wakes me up. He wakes me up every morning. He kisses me right on the mouth, and he says, "I'm so proud of you for having it."
I just saw what you did to the toilet. I have to tell you, I'm really proud of you.
Do you have any,
But,
like,
yeah,
chest pain?
No, I haven't had any of the respiratory stuff. I am actually, in all seriousness, I am hopeful that it is not it, and that it is just like a stomach bug or something like that, because it's mostly been vomiting and the other end. But still, better safe than sorry. I basically, my grandpa wants me to have dinner with him every night, and I told him I'm not coming anywhere near you, and I'm dead serious. Like, he keeps pressing it.
Stay the fuck
Like, he
away.
doesn't- No, I'm telling him, I'm doing this for you. I am avoiding you for 2 weeks. I'm telling you right now, like, I'm not coming anywhere near you, and don't even try to come near me.
Grandpa,
I will-
I love you, but I swear to fucking God, if you go anywhere near me, screech.
Exactly. I have to tell him every day. Like, he makes a big deal out of it, and I'm like, dude, I'm fucking serious. Like, don't fucking come near me. My mom came over the other day, and I hadn't seen her in a while, and I was still running a fever, and he really wanted me to have dinner with them. So I told him, tell you what, I'll make you a compromise. I'll sit on the stairs and eat dinner while you guys sit at the table. So I sat on the stairs and ate my dinner.
Imagine
Right.
walking in on that. Man sitting on the stairs eating like a
No
fucking
context.
chicken dinner.
Things are crazy right now, okay? Aside from that, I really, really wanted to tell you guys about the dream that I had last night. And I also wanted to talk more about dreams, because it seems that dreams are also crazy. I've seen a lot of people talking about how their dreams have become more intense in the past weeks, which is an interesting avenue to explore.
Do you want to hear my dream?
Can I? May I
What? Tell that story.
elaborate? on yes.
Sure.
So I mean, Dan worked there at the same time, but we had a coworker, strange guy.
A little off.
Little bit off. I'm pretty sure he had some developmental things going on. Anyway, this dude smokes like a fucking chimney, and me and my friend Dustin would go outside before our shift would start to have a smoke break, and this guy would follow us out there. Me and Dustin sit there and have a normal conversation about, regular shit, the movies we saw this week, art, music, shit like we do on this podcast. And one day we're out there, and me and Dustin wrap up our conversation, and this guy turns to me and he says, "Do you want to hear my dream?" And I wasn't sure how to interpret that. I didn't know if he meant like a literal dream or like his life's goal. Let's hear it. And he goes, "Okay, well, you and I got an apartment in LA, like one that rich people would have, except for the landlord didn't want us to have it unless we agreed to milk his cows, and you tried to milk one of the cows and it killed you."
Jesus.
You had an actual David Lynch interaction. Like, it's like an actual scene that would take place in a David Lynch movie.
I had to deal with that before my shift.
This guy is also, he's a fully functioning adult. I mean, like, goes to work and puts on his pants one leg at a time, like everybody. He's just got this.
I wonder.
But he's got such a weird way of broaching a conversation.
I'm getting ready to start doing some puzzles, dude. I got this stack of puzzles in the corner, and I got nothing else to fucking do. I saw that picture of that mom and daughter in California that did like a 45,000 piece Disney puzzle.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And I'm just looking at these puzzles. Man, I got the Magnum puzzle, 3,000 pieces. I got the world's most difficult jigsaw puzzle, which is 529 pieces. It's double-sided, and the pieces the image is rotated 45 degrees. It's the same image on both sides.
Busted out the old coloring books. I think I've got like 6 of them. Sesame Street, some Sponge Bag, some dogs.
Did you say sponge bag?
I did.
That's how we say it.
That's how the real ones say it.
Jenga, I can play by myself.
Jenga, but you play it with your grandpa, and you have to stay 6 feet away from the puzzle at all times. So you walk up, pull a piece, and then back up 6 feet, and then he walks up, pulls a piece, and then he backs up 6 feet.
No, I was thinking more like we both had pool sticks.
There you go.
You just slap this.
It just blows up. Yeah, you won't catch me doing a puzzle, bro. That's it's too monotonous for me.
I mean, that's kind of
Dan needs something more stimulating for his big brain, so
it's big brain time. That's true. You know what, Dan? I find puzzles to be very stimulating. Okay.
I'm not saying you should feel bad about it. I was expressing my personal opinion. You know, there is something I think we've all been doing to pass the time, and that's taking a little time for films. Time for films. Parasite, Midsommar, Jean-Luc Godard, Robert Eggers sucks. This is the time for films theme song. It's over. Nick, why don't you go first?
Okay, cool. Well then, Dan, I think you'll be glad to know that I watched Blue Velvet.
We talked about this on the last episode.
Did we?
Yeah. Remember how I
That-
berated you consistently?
No, I
got
don't
David
remember
Lynch.
that, obviously, because I don't know what day it is anymore. Okay, then fucking, you know what? I watched The Other Guys. How's that for you?
It's a fucking great movie.
I think my two favorite bits are first of all, shout out Michael Keaton. If not Hall of Fame nominee, then at least Golden Star.
Yeah, Gold Star.
The whole bit about the TLC songs,
Yeah.
that shit was killing me. Will Ferrell just having the hottest fucking wife and girlfriend and ex-girlfriend and ex-wife. I feel like I can talk about spoilers for this movie because it's from 2010 and nobody's gonna get upset about it.
Yeah, everybody's seen this movie.
Yeah, except for me. And then you find out later that he's a pimp.
You really hadn't seen The Other Guys until this week?
I am not lying to you. I had never seen The Other Guys until this week.
You know, if it makes you feel any better, I also have not seen The Other Guys, so
How?
How do you know if she's lying? She could be lying.
I've been known to lie. I don't know, I just haven't. It's never been on my radar. I don't really particularly like.
Anything good or
Yeah.
funny?
Doesn't like Adam Sandler. Doesn't like Will Ferrell.
Yeah, Will Ferrell kind of falls in the Adam Sandler group of people for me. It's not as
Well,
severe.
no shit, they were on fucking SNL together.
I don't think they were ever on the same cast in SNL.
I actually think you're right. Fuck me.
I need to get better guests for my podcast. People who actually know shit and have seen movies.
Fuck, dude.
I've seen one or two.
I'm only
You
surprised.
asked me. Look, you asked me to go first. Okay, so
I know. I thought
I was not prepared.
I'm doing a fucking bit. Come on, guys. jeez, lighten up. Jeez.
It's 2020.
The only reason I'm surprised you haven't seen it because I mean I get that you don't like fucking super bro-y comedy or whatever, but the fact all of your friends love that movie and we quote it all the time.
You know, it's possible I've seen it and it just really wasn't that memorable to me. That happens. So maybe I'll watch it and I'll let you know if I've actually seen it before.
It's interesting though because it's more than just like the silly comedy because it's also got this like kind of hidden satire or commentary on the 2008 housing crisis.
Oh yeah, they gave all those statistics at the end. That was something that really did kind of catch me off guard. But it was. They actually took like a very serious tone towards the credits there.
Yeah, and then obviously Adam McKay went on to make The Big Short after that, and then ultimately the Dick Cheney movie. So you can tell that was sort of the first time he was getting into politics through goofy comedy movies. Classic. All right, Maddie, what did you watch?
Well, I've seen some things. I watched Whiplash. That really blew my shit out. Like
Hell
that
yeah.
final scene was just wildly intense.
It's so rewarding.
Very good movie. I really enjoyed that.
Here's the question,
Also-
though. Was J.K. Simmons a bad guy or not?
The professor?
Yes, Maddie. Come
Yeah, no,
on.
dude,
Open
maybe.
IMDb once in a while.
Yeah. I feel like it was pretty clear, especially at the end where it was like, it's just classic manipulation. I don't know. So I felt like that was very clear. And at the end where it's like, the kid is like waiting for the professor to like smile at him. And then when he does, then the kid smiles. He's like waiting for his approval. So yeah, I was a bad dude. Can't do that.
I I have a little bit of bias toward this movie for obvious reasons.
You're bald, and you teach drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Those are that's the criteria. That's my bias. I am in a middle ground, actually. I think that a lot of what he did was, yes, extreme. I mean, he got the result he wanted. It was a little traumatic for dude, but I think they both came out better people.
Oh, the classic character.
Dude.
Dude.
Remember, dude?
This is Miles Teller. He's gonna be reading for the role of Dude. Drummer Dude.
Drummer.
Well,
Dude.
it's what they both wanted, not just J.K. Simmons. They both wanted to be good. They both wanted him to be a good player.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that, like, you know, the reasoning behind why he was the way he was is incorrect. But, you know, in moderation, you can't psychologically manipulate and destroy someone and think that that's acceptable.
Yeah, but also, I will say, fuck Miles Teller for being a little snitch-ass bitch.
Dude.
Dude.
Dude. For,
Like when they the committee, whatever the committee for the school is, that said that he was the reason that other student killed himself, and he's done this before and pushed people too far.
I mean, I don't think it's a bad decision for him to choose to testify.
Snitches get stitches. I'm just saying. That's why he got in a car accident.
Somehow the world knew he was going to snitch, and so they were like, okay, we'll put you in a car accident then for when you snitch.
Shut up and play the drums, dude.
That's my favorite line from the movie.
Shut up, dude.
Shut up and play the drums, dude.
Okay, anyway, I also watched Annihilation.
Oh, nice.
Which blew me out a little bit. Wow. Okay.
Didn't really care for that one myself. I know I'm in the minority on it, but
I was a little underwhelmed.
Okay, maybe it's because I go into the movies blind, so I have no fucking clue what's gonna happen at all. So maybe that's why I was so like blown away by it.
I went into it blind too.
Yeah, I went into that one blind too.
What didn't you like about it, Dan?
I don't know. I just didn't really connect with it, I think, the way that they wanted me to. I didn't like get into the whole like story behind Natalie Portman and her husband or whatever. I just wasn't engaged by it. I can't deny if you liked it and it worked for you. Like I'm not saying it's a bad film, but I also said it reminds me of Arrival. Did you see Arrival, Nick?
I have not.
With Amy Adams. Yeah, you should check that out. Arrival, I think, is the much better version.
I don't feel like Annihilation was supposed to be about their storyline, though. I feel like it was just like a thing to kind of carry the movie, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like there was a greater point to it of like this concept of something that exists that doesn't have desires or wants, or it doesn't relate to us on a human level. Like it's just not like us in any way, and that's not something we can comprehend. It's something existing and only wanting to exist, and that's it. And I feel like that was the point of it, and I liked it because I feel like that makes sense. You know, we watch a lot of alien movies and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, we want to destroy you just for fun. I don't know. But I feel like this is more, I feel like this is just a little more, at least in my head, accurate, and at least, if not more accurate in my head, then at least different from your classic alien movie. They come down and want to destroy everything.
Well,
that's a big takeaway, and I will say that there was definitely a lot left up for interpretation, and that's a pretty good interpretation.
I do think the like climactic scene, it was cool, like the way it's shot and the visual effects and everything. But as far as what you're saying about telling a story about an alien encounter and what aliens might actually be like, or alien life forms, That's. I mean, I don't know. I guess 2001 does that for me, or triple four. Fuck.
Were you just
Close.
gonna say triple?
No, I was gonna say. I was trying to say Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I fucking.
That's what the Triplefour podcast did for me. It
Yeah.
really made me think about aliens.
I just got fucking Dave Portnoy dyslexia into fucking.
After the Bob Lazar episode on Triplefour, I really started finding some alien shit.
Yeah, but check out Arrival because that also kind of plays into that. I don't want to say anything other than it involves aliens, and it's a lot of. I think it's a really cool representation of what it might be like if we actually had to confront and understand and learn about an alien life form. Like, I don't know. It's also got an emotional underpinning
No,
story.
dude, that's what Independence Day was about.
Independence Day fucks, dude.
100%. That's what would happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Will Smith would show up and he'd go, "Welcome to Earth." Maybe Corona is the alien. Maybe it's like that episode of.
Oh.
Okay.
It's like that episode of Evangelion where the angel is a computer virus.
Are we living in an Evangelion type universe right now?
I'm pretty sure we live in the Evangelion universe, and any moment now, there's gonna be some fucking crazy shit going on.
Well, I also watched Your Name. I don't know if you've seen that.
Not yet. I'm gonna watch it pretty soon because it's on a list that I'm trying to complete.
Well, I just cried. It was a very good movie, and I cried. Okay, hurt my feelings.
Good
I feel
bits.
okay.
Good vibes.
Great time. Okay. Listen, I don't know what to tell you, okay? It was a good movie. I don't have anything else to say. Alright? I feel like I have things to say about Annihilation, but you fucking hate the movie. So,
I didn't even say that.
you did.
And I quote Dan Stewart on the Triplefour podcast, I hate Annihilation.
Yeah.
The movie.
Send it
You
to the
said
director.
First movie ever.
You know, I think Annihilation was directed by Alex Garland, who also did Deus Ex, which didn't really care
That's
for that one either.
What? Get the okay. All right. You know what?
All right, Josh, anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I finished Tiger King, and you just don't like anybody. You don't like anybody out of that show, except for there's like a couple people that I liked. One of them was Eric, the one of the guys in charge of leading the Tigers. It was real, the whole fucking. And there's another guy named John, ex manager. Also, just a couple real fucking dudes. And then the girl with the missing hand, forgot her name.
Handless.
She's Stub.
Girl.
Stub
perhaps.
King.
Stub King. Yeah, those are like the three. None of the big contenders. You just none of them you can like.
You know,
Carol's a
I really
bitch.
liked the drug dealer guy that came in towards the end, the cartel homie, whatever the hell he did, who was in prison for a while. Then he got out and he was like, I don't know, I might have killed some people or whatever.
I talk about the friend of like the Jeff, friend of Jeff. Who's like the guy had a lot of money that took over took things over.
I don't think he was like involved at all, really. I think he was just like in the cartel, and then he went to jail and he got out and he was like, yeah, I do tiger stuff.
Yeah, he's like the friend of Jeff that just does whatever he wants. Yeah, that dude's. Yeah, that dude.
I,
Yeah, that
I
dude's
liked him because the whole time he was like, yeah, all these people are fucking insane.
Yeah,
And I was
he's
like,
literally
this is
a real
coming
guy.
from a dude from the cartel. Like, what?
He came in and he's like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck going on here, but all right, I guess I'll bull for a sec. But I mean, but at the end, just by the end of it, boy, it makes you sad. It just doesn't make you feel good. In the beginning, it's like
felt pretty good at the end.
you did.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. That made me feel like shit.
Good bits. I felt good at the end.
felt like shit, but I had some good bits in there. Yeah, I was gonna say this last week, but I also watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I rewatched that, and I still love the costume design. I always loved the clown's look in that movie. I think it's one of the better designs of a clown I've seen. Just
Yeah.
the wacky outlandishness.
Yeah. The production design, the costumes, and the sets and everything are super cool in that movie.
The sets for that movie are really good for a B movie. That's what I'm kind of like. The town itself. I just didn't. Well, the thing is, I didn't know how many costumes of the clowns there were too, because at the spoilers for a fucking 40-year-old movie. But at the end when they're
Spoiler, you got to shoot him in the nose. My favorite thing about that movie, besides the obvious amazing set design and costume design, is the fact that when they showed it on television, they edit out the part where the dude gets his head punched off. Because there's no blood in that scene. Even in the original, he just punches his head clean off. It's not even...
Yeah, you don't see anything.
There's no reason you should have to edit that.
Yeah. It's also really fast, too, so it's not like... there wasn't any time for like anything blood-related to even happen. But there's like that... So, like, the sheer amount of clowns at the end when they're facing, like, that big boss, like, a clown boss, essentially. It's really cool. I didn't know they had so much. And then the fucking cop that just takes the girl over, pretty much. Like they're he was her ex-boyfriend, but by the end of it, he was literally just like he's like hugging her, holding on to her, and everything. And Grant Kramer is just kind of hanging there, bulling to the end of the movie. So, still love it. Still, I think still my favorite B movie.
You know what's funny about Tiger King? I saw a picture today, and it was like a fucking Bob Evans or something, and the little sign where they can put up like their specials. So one of the signs where you can change the words on it, the little plastic letters, and it said like Carol Baskin rotten hell or something, and it was like just a fucking Hardee's or something. And I was just thinking like, this is some serious power that Netflix has. They can just make a show, and then the next day somebody will be starting a fucking campaign on
to kill someone.
Yeah, to murder somebody. Like I've seen like pictures, like people's like inner office memos, and it says at the bottom like, also Carol Baskin is a bitch or something, and I'm just like, what's going on, guys? Yeah, I finished watching. I mentioned this on the last episode I did with Jacob and Rhett, but I finished watching the AFI Top 100 list, and I moved on now. I'm going to try and watch most of, if not to almost complete, the IMDb Top 250. I think I have like 50 or so left. So, and so some of the stuff I've been watching, a lot of stuff that's like more popular. I think that's kind of how the IMDb list leans towards like really big crowd-pleasing stuff. And also a lot of stuff that I think I have been remiss to have not seen so far. So yeah, I mentioned last week I watched Braveheart, which I really liked.
Wait, you never saw Braveheart?
Nope, not until this week.
Damn.
Just wasn't one that was on in the household. But it's fucking sick. I really like Braveheart. It was it's a lot of like epic moments. Like fucking every other scene is Mel Gibson basically being like, "Are we not men? We need to form a country." Fucking like giving a big speech and then slicing somebody's head off. But it was cool. Another one, and I bet I'm going to get a similar reaction. I watched The Green Mile for the first time.
Okay. Right.
It's a good one. Also good bits. Also cried.
I was pretty underwhelmed by Green Mile. I mean, like it reminded me. I don't care for Shawshank Redemption that much either. They're both.
Whoa, dude.
They're fine movies.
Proceed.
They're fine movies. I think they're directed really standard. Like they're not very bold. I think Shawshank's better than Green Mile, but Green Mile in particular, I felt like I knew what was coming. I mean, it's also another movie that is pretty much ingrained, just in like the culture so much. Like
Yeah, it's almost hard to be objective when you're watching it because you already know the plot and the characters.
Yeah, I mean, I knew enough about what like John Coffey's deal was or whatever. I think it would be way cooler if I didn't know anything, because if I was just watching that and I went into it and I'm like, all right, it's a prison movie. Okay, big guy. Yeah. Oh, he's burping bees, bro. Like if that came out if all of a sudden the bee burp scene like came out of nowhere, I would be pretty psyched. But since I know since I knew it was coming, it was not as exciting. I didn't know that Harry Dean Stanton was in it. That was cool. Or Sam Rockwell. I didn't realize Sam Rockwell was in it. He has fun. He had fun with that. But the one I really liked this week was The Great Escape. I watched The Great Escape, 1963. Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson.
Alcatraz?
No, there's another movie called Escape from Alcatraz. No, it's Steve McQueen and Charles Bronson, James Coburn's in it, Richard Attenborough, whole bunch of great 60s actors. It's a World War II prison camp based on a true story about this prison camp where they had taken all of the guys from other prisoner of war camps, all these guys who had already tried to escape from other camps, and they built a brand new camp for them. Fucking super awesome movie, great writing, a lot of great actors. I don't know. It's kind of an old man movie. I don't think there's a single woman in it, to be honest.
It really covers the playful nature of Nazis.
Yeah, the depiction of the German soldiers, very mellow. But Steve McQueen's awesome. It's good shit. Oh, I guess one other one was Catch Me If You Can. I had not seen Catch Me If You Can before.
I still need it. It's been on my list for fucking ever. And I have heard nothing but great things about it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good bits, pretty good all around, good vibes. Didn't cry. See, that was the catch. Me, if you can. It's a lot. To me, it felt like Spielberg trying to do a Scorsese movie, and it came out the same year as Gangs of New York, which had Leo in it, and that's a Scorsese movie, so kind of a coincidence. And that's time for films.
This is the time for films theme song. It's over.
Speaking of Green Mile, in quarantine, I noticed, and we briefly talked about this in the last episode, but Tinder and the dating apps are a lot more active. Josh, I don't know if you've been on any of them.
Yeah, I mean, I've been seldomly, but I'm also just trying not to look at them because it's not great.
Well, yeah, they're depressing, but
yeah.
Or Maddie, I don't know if you've been on the dating apps at all.
I peruse.
But
Tinder just made the passport thing free for all their members. So
what is I don't get that. Like that.
I'm not sure either. They've been promoting using dating apps, and they're like, oh, we're gonna make all these exceptions, and I was like, but you can't meet up with anybody.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere.
So see what New York looks like. I guess it's
called planting the seed.
Yeah, except for
after the end of the world.
Yeah, well, you gotta make friends. Can't wait to make text message friends with somebody in fucking Bali.
Well, you don't have friends on the internet?
No. No. But yeah, so just every now and then I've been doing a little swiping and doing more successfully than usual because, like I said, I think it's just more active in general. I find that I always get to a point where I have to ask somebody like what kind of like, be it music or like books or something that they're into. I never ask about movies because I know it's going to be a fucking problem.
Same thing with me for music.
Yeah. But so like I was talking to somebody and they said in their bio that they're a poet, that they're a published poet, and that they were, planning on becoming an English teacher and all this stuff, and we got on the topic of reading or books or something after a while. Very nice person, no actual complaints. This is just me being petty, I guess, because I was like, okay, so you're into writing and stuff. Like, who are your favorite authors? And she goes, Stephen King. And I'm like, really? Like, not shade at Stephen King, but like, if you're really into it and you want to like teach English in the future, you'd think like it would be beyond Stephen King, right?
I don't know. Sounds like shade at Stephen King.
Josh's mom's favorite fucking author.
Yeah, I had that audiobooks on Alexa 24/7.
It turns out you're being catfished by Josh's mom.
You know. Yeah.
But okay, like, so if somebody was like, all right, I'm going to start a music festival. I went to school for, musicology. My favorite band is Foo Fighters. Like, you'd be kind of like, really? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, huh. That's it? Foo Fighters, huh?
Bit weird.
Is this Maddie? Weigh in on this. Is this so far fetched?
No, I definitely agree. It is a little odd because it's like I don't know, when you get really deep into something, like, yeah, no doubt the people who are super famous are probably famous for a reason and whatever. But there's always like, a less known or undiscovered like great thing.
Yeah.
In any section of life. I don't know. It is a little odd. And even if Stephen King was her favorite, like actually she's read millions of authors and that's just the one that does it for her. You'd think you'd just lie.
Nick just
Right?
really like the style.
Wouldn't you just lie? You say something obscure and you're like, yeah, get it? Because I'm doing English stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Or like include it in like a couple, like in a list, If she was like, yeah, my favorite authors are Hemingway, James Joyce, I really love Stephen King too, I would be like, okay, I mean, like that shows like a little bit of range, a little bit of like, at least she's like, she's read a lot, When you just say Stephen King, it's like me being like, yeah, I love Spielberg. It's my favorite director. It's like not an invalid opinion, but it's just like, you'd really expect something else.
It's also odd that there's only one, because I'm not even super in depth into anything other than rocks, maybe. But I mean, if someone asked me, like, I don't know, my favorite music, usually there's a range. Who are your favorite artists? It's like, well, a little bit of this and a little bit of this. And I'm not even that deep into music. So, I mean, regardless, it is a little odd that it's only like one person.
Who are your favorite rocks?
I really wanted to make an excavation joke about being deep into rocks.
Name 10 rocks.
Igneous,
Okay.
Sedimentary, metamorphic,
The classic.
igneous light.
I honestly can't tell you how many times on Tinder someone's like, so, what's your favorite rock? We're really going down this route, huh?
I can't believe it. That blows my fucking mind because I have such intelligent fucking questions and conversation like skills that that makes me sound really pretentious. But like compared to what's your favorite rock? Really? Like, are you fucking serious?
Well, Dan,
They're like, so, geological
favorite rock?
engineering, what's your favorite rock? Everyone go around and say your favorite rock right now.
igneous.
That's not a rock.
That's a type. Big gypsum head.
That's mineral. Or we want to do minerals? Okay, let's do minerals.
What are rocks then?
Yeah.
Rocks are
Jesus.
made of
Rocks-
multiple different minerals. Do you want to hear the definition of a mineral? Are we going to get into this?
No, we don't need to hear the definition of a mineral. I like
This is our
arrowheads.
Tinder
How's that?
conversations all over again.
You like
Talc.
what?
Arrowheads.
Chert. You like chert.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. That's acceptable, I guess.
Took off my pants this morning and found a little shirt in there.
Now, see, if someone came at me at least with that on Tinder, at least that's creative.
Oh, fuck. See, like, I can understand asking about something that's important to you, because that's, definitely something that I would do. But that's so fucking, like, obviously not interested, What's your favorite rock? If somebody asked you why you chose to study geology,
When I'm speaking to a human being, they're like, hey, what the fuck are you, what is that? What is geological engineering? What does that even do? How'd you get into this? But on Tinder, it's just, what's your favorite rock? No one even asked my favorite mineral.
Rocks.
I'm also not, like a geologist.
This is
Maybe
the competition.
Slightly more appropriate for a geologist.
And I'm losing.
Yeah, how is this, man? What is this?
I'm gonna rejoin Tinder just so I can match with Maddie and ask her what her favorite mineral is.
Talc.
Is it chert?
Perfect. Great. Looking forward to it.
Talc is the softest one.
Yes, Dan. Thank you.
On the Mohs hardness scale.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a fucking degree. Hello.
A fingernail is 2 on the heart.
It actually ranges
You
from
got
about
it.
3.5, but
Okay, in geological engineering classes, do you ever drop a pick? Does anybody ever dropped a pickup line? You got me on the Mohs hardness scale.
No, of all of the very many geology puns that I have heard in my time here, that is not one I've heard.
And look, not only do I deserve a degree in geology, but also I should be doing way better on Tinder. Those are the two things we just learned.
Yeah.
On the other side of the Stephen King thing, I think I do it the opposite way, where I have been trying to be more myself, like I think it's more genuine, just more genuine answers, and not try to package them. So it got to the point where I was talking to somebody, and I think a good question to ask during this time, a good conversation start, is what have you been doing to pass the time in quarantine? And somebody asked me this, or asked me and reciprocated my question. And I said, like watching movies, exercising, reading, these things. And she's like, oh, what are you reading? And I said, I just finished a couple books by Faulkner, and now I'm reading For Whom the Bell Tolls. And then I get dropped. Cause it's like, oh, I don't know what those are. Sounds fucking lame and goth. I don't know.
Oh.
Should have said Stephen King.
Yeah, I say, do you like Stephen King?
This is the world we're living in.
I don't know what the fuck I'm on about.
But I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't want to fucking lie. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm just fucking listening to Foo Fighters, having a great old time, making blueberry waffles.
What's the problem? We gotta get this Foo Fighter.
Foo Fighters are fine, but that's the whole point. They're fine. Stephen King's a good author, wrote so many classic stories, but he's like the most popular fucking author on the planet. So yeah,
My favorite author is J.K. Rowling.
that would be worse. That would be a worse answer. I like Harry Potter. That would be a worse answer. See, this is why I don't ask about movies. If I say, hey, what kind of movies you're into? They're going to be like, oh, man, I love In Time with Justin Timberlake. It.
Part 2.
Chapter 2.
It Chapter 2 specifically. The Bob Lazar documentary, but only the parts with the director in it.
And somehow, even though you asked about movies, they like The Office.
Yeah, The Office. They just name it in their favorite movies. They're like, what's your favorite movie? Oh, The Office with Steve Carell, probably.
I really treat it as a movie because I always marathon it.
I always watch 4-hour blocks of it at a time.
It's kind of my movie hour.
Oh, that's cool. You should watch The Great Escape. Oh, that's 3 hours? I'm never going to watch that. Oh, but you just said you'd watch 4 hours of The Office. Yeah. Uh-huh. I did meet somebody on Tinder who said that their job was to study fish, that they work at a research lab for fish. I thought that was genuinely interesting.
What do they do with them? Like, what are they studying?
Something about their evolutionary patterns. It's a very specific, particular fish, too. So I naturally resorted to... I had a fish when I was younger. I named him Chris. He was a beta, and he lived for like 3 years. It was nuts. It was crazy how long he lived. Because honestly, we didn't really treat him that well. I didn't say that to her because I figured she'd be offended, but...
Well,
sounds
now
like
she's
total
going to
dick
listen in
and
and know that you're a fish abuser.
I'm not a fish abuser, okay? We just put him in the wrong room. You know, like, we put him in the room we don't go in enough. So we never walked by it, so we always forgot to feed him because we forgot he was there.
Took him out of the water sometimes, whatever.
Yeah, I forgot to change his water. Probably could have changed his water more. Definitely could have fed him more. But, man, he's stuck in there.
Look, I'm not a kidnapper. I just forgot to let that guy out of the van, okay?
Yeah, whatever. Hey, it's a beta. He's a rumble fish, you know? They got moxie.
Toss his way out of there in no time.
I used to hold funerals for my fish whenever they would die. So there's like a full graveyard in my backyard behind the shed where I used to bury them. And like when my first fish died, whose name was Nick Jonas Bowen, by the way, I wasn't even really that into the Jonas Brothers at the time. It was just kind of like a thing to do to fit in when I was like 9. Anyway, I invited my whole family over. I set up a speaker. Okay, I played some Angels and Airwaves before I gave my speech about the fish.
He had great music taste.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace, Chris the Fish. F.
And Nick Jonas Bowen.
I don't know if you ever tried to take care of a goldfish, but those things are professional dyers. Those things will fucking die as soon as they can.
I had, I don't know what kind of fish it was, but it was like a shark thing. And obviously it wasn't a shark, but it, you know, it was a tiny little fish that kind of looked like a tiny little shark in fish form, okay?
A shark.
And I got them because they looked cool, and the guy told me that they would fit in the tank size that I had, which was indeed completely false. Anyway, I had them for about a week maybe, and then they just disappeared. Like full on disappeared. Their bodies were not in there. I searched all around the tank looking for them, like thinking maybe they jumped out, and they were just nowhere. And I had ghost shrimp, so I was like, maybe they just really devoured it like overnight. I don't know. So I came to this conclusion to myself for about a year, and a year later, I'm like, digging around trying to find bobby pins or something, and I discover 2 little fish bodies that are all dried up in this little cup thing that I kept pencils and stuff in. And I had checked that at the time, but I guess not thoroughly enough because there they were.
All right. Well, should we play a round of questions that have plagued mankind?
Who am I? Where do I belong? Where is the path? Questions that have plagued mankind.
The first question asks, Cat was licking raw chicken. Can we still eat? I know it's gross, but this is what we're having for Easter lunch.
I mean, wouldn't you cook the chicken?
I like to imagine they're going to eat it raw.
Yeah, they just
left that part out.
Look, this is what we're having for Easter lunch, okay?
The cat licked it, but it's fine, I think. I don't know. Let me... hold on.
Let me go to the internet.
Let me Yahoo this real quick. How long were they leaving the chicken out for that the cat just decided to hang out with it and lick it?
Oh, dude, cats will get into fucking anything in a second.
Well, yeah, but I mean, usually if you're around, you could shoo the cat away.
Relevant to our previous discussion, cats are like the #1 fish murderer. Other than, obviously fish suicide, which has become an epidemic.
Yeah.
Scientifically, I'm pretty sure if they cooked it, it's fine.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I don't think there's anything really wrong with it if they cook it because it would just kill the bacteria by that point.
Same. Yeah, I'm okay with it as long as it's cooked at a proper temperature.
We're
Well, the
about
next question is like, so how long was the cat licking it for?
Yeah, see that? Yeah,
Because-
is it?
So they would have had to have walked away, and then the cat would have had to like jump on the counter, and then start licking it. And I feel like that's a pretty fair amount of time to have just left the chicken out. So
Is
it's
this
like
like
an immediate thing, or did they come back like 10 minutes later and they were like, oh shit?
Just leave it out. Just a
Does
raw
this turn
chicken.
into like a philosophical, like how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
How many licks does it take for your chicken to get contaminated by your cat?
chicken
I
liquor.
don't Throw it away.
That's like the early bird gets the worm. The first lick of the raw chicken.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
First one to get salmonella wins.
So who's gonna get the first lick of the raw chicken?
All right.
Try that one on Tinder. Let me know how it goes.
No, next time I'm just gonna open with I love Stephen King, Foo Fighters, The Office, and I lick raw chicken.
But only if I get the first lick.
Next question.
What is going on? All right. Next question comes was from Pirate Prince. And does a mouse grow to be a rat? I am just curious.
It's like Pokemon. It's like
Like it thinks they evolve IRL.
That's how it works.
first.
So they
They
don't
just
grow
upgrade?
into it. They evolve into it. You know, it's an important distinction of words.
Yeah, see, a mouse is like the Squirtle, and
First, you
The-
get a rat-a-tat.
then it becomes a war turtle, which is a rat, and then it evolves to a rat king, which is a Blastoise.
Damn, we could just answer that question easily. Yeah, we just did. All right. Man.
Quick sidebar. What was your pick of the three? If you were to play any of the original games,
Like red, blue, and
like I'm talking fucking Charmander, Squirtle, or Bulbasaur.
Charmander.
You know, the first game I played was actually yellow version, which you had to start with Pikachu. So I never really, I owned blue eventually, or I played blue eventually, and I don't remember who I picked. I think I went Charmander. But if I had to start right now, I feel like I'm kind of a Squirtle dude.
Yo, I feel like this kind of plays into the personality quiz a little bit, Maddie.
Oh yeah, I'm not hip. I don't have one. So. Sorry.
Ah, Jesus. Okay, well, I'm
Cool.
Bulbasaur.
What was your answer, Josh?
Actually, no, I take that back. Actually, my
Charmander.
first one was Squirtle. No, I'm Squirtle.
Maddie, did you ever take that personality test thing I sent you?
No, I haven't had a chance to yet.
All right,
but I
well,
will eventually.
all right, you guys want to hear my results real quick? So it basically it's like the personality test, but it just gives you a trait like chaotic or organized, and then you mark on a spectrum where you are, and it gives you like 20 of those, and then it gives you fictional characters that you are like it gives you a list of like 200 of them, and then a percentage to which you are that character. And mine are not flattering. No, my number one is Gollum. I'm 81% Gollum. Number two, number two is April Ludgate from Parks and Rec. 79%. Moaning Myrtle from Harry Potter. I don't see that at all. Fucking horny ghost.
You just hide out in a fucking. You're just a ghost in a bathroom.
Just a horny ghost. There's some characters I don't recognize from Mad Men and other stuff. Ben Linus from Lost, which he's just a kind of a bad guy, so that's great. 76%. Melisandre from Game of Thrones. Come on. Rust Cole from True Detective is number 9, 74%. Oh, here's a real good one. Number 11, the Joker.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What did I do? Number 13 is Voldemort. So fuck.
Like you knew you were in for a fucking ride when your first one was Gollum.
Yeah.
I guess you know.
These are all like kind of like tragic, flawed people. Like they're all like tragic, flawed villains. I guess the Joker's kind of an outright villain, but John Locke from Lost, number 14. Leland Palmer's on there. And then I went to the bottom and I looked at the most ones I'm the least like, right? And remember how number 2 was April Ludgate. Number 540. They gave you 540 characters.
Jeez.
Number 540 is Ann Perkins from Parks and Rec, which is funny because they're at the total opposite end of the spectrum. Number 536, Rob Stark. Fucking Woody from Toy Story is number 528. I'm not a Woody. You guys should take it and talk about it next time.
Yeah, I'll have my results next week.
Anyway, do you have more questions?
I got one more. Little quick one from Leon, and he says, "Can a microwave kill COVID-19?"
Whoa! Like
Getting
what?
Some big brain answers here. Need some of those.
If you crawl in it long enough.
If you get a big enough one.
Get the world's largest microwave, hover it over the earth, and then turn it on.
Yeah, that was my first thought. Was he was talking about the virus for the entire world? Like, can a microwave destroy it for the entire world?
Can one?
Oh, like one big, like a single wave.
Yeah, one big microwave, a macrowave.
Okay, because I was
if you will.
picturing like the appliance, like you get like a sauna-sized microwave, and then you just sit in it for like 2 hours and you're good.
I was also thinking of a man that just broke the door off his microwave, put it on his front porch, and then just turned it on to see what happened.
Like it's not pointed at anything. There's nothing
it's not
in
doing
it.
anything.
It just has to be on.
It just sits outside on.
Scientifically, I think that would actually make it worse. If you if you put something in it, like if you were scared that your fucking McDouble had COVID on it and you put it in the microwave.
Turn that bitch on for a minute and see how long it lasts.
Get double COVID.
COVID-20.
I want to know how he thought of this question. I felt like he was just sitting at his table and like his dinner table, looked at his microwave, like, all this COVID stuff lately. I wonder if that could just destroy it.
Or better yet, he has like a piece of food that he knows has COVID germs on it. Like
you saw the dude cough.
Yeah, he had the patient coughed on it, like on his McDouble, and then it's on a plate, and he's just staring at it like, shit. If I eat this, I'll get COVID. Huh?
But I'm really hungry.
Yeah, so maybe the microwave will take care of it. I should investigate.
This requires further questioning. Crazy times,
Yeah, for
You
sure.
gotta do anything to get a fucking. You gotta do anything these days.
You got to do anything.
Now we know the solution, Nick. Just put yourself in the microwave, and you won't have a disease anymore.
Fair.
Yeah.
Just got out of the microwave.
Yo, catch me next week.
I'm ready to hang.
I'll catch you guys next week once I get out of the microwave.
Dude, okay, the microwave would be a sick venue name. Like, fucking,
Oh, shit.
like, who goes there live at the microwave?
Damn.
That would be
Got
fucking
a
cool.
nice ring to it.
Yeah, I know. Live at the microwave?
All right, you gotta have the whole building look like a microwave. That's just the rules.
Yeah.
Like, the door is
Live-
massive.
Yeah, the door's massive. You gotta fit everybody in there. It's all one. You can't open it.
Yeah, everybody has to stay outside until we open the door one time, because it's going to be a while.
It's gonna be an event.
Now, see, like, the stage is its own microwave. So the band comes out, and then this giant door has to open.
No. And
No.
so
See them.
The stage rotates.
the band's in
Yeah.
the back. Yeah, the band's in the back, and you sit on the plate, and you rotate, and you have to keep looking at the band. So you have to keep rotating yourself to look at the band.
Seriously? A fucking venue called the Microwave where the stage rotates and there's one big door would be the fucking coolest thing of all time. And I'm going to throw the music festival there, and you know who's headlining? Foo Fighters. And also, we got a Stephen King reading lined up, and we're going to roll out a projector and play an episode of The Office.
And
I'm just
invite
saying-
all your Tinder friends.
All the concerts are canceled right now, but if a microwave can defeat COVID, then this is the best venue.
I know. Fuck. We figured it out.
All right, everybody, just put a microwave outside your front door, turn it on, the rest.
Let it run.
All night.
Put nothing in there and then hit popcorn. It'll never end.
This never end.
All right, I think that just about does it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I don't know. Fucking like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram, all that stuff. You know the drill. Keep listening, please, dear God. I need
Unless
it.
you're one of the people who voted for Tony Hawk, in which case you should leave.
No, if you voted for Tony Hawk, you're actually a VIP listener. So
I'm just saying you were in a rigged election, and you should feel bad that you voted for Tony.
Yep.
nope. All right. Thanks. Bye.